Hi you guys, happy Saturday. I'm just sitting outside. It's really rainy, you probably can't tell that. I'm a little chilly, but it's okay. I got my blanket. I'm in my cozy bathrobe, and I've got my greenery in my hand, my cup of tea, which actually, let's see what it says. It says, compassion is a state of constant giving of the self for others. I'd like to think that that's what I'm doing. Anyway, speaking of rain, we're going to talk about water again. How Mother Nature is replenishing right now, while we are all kind of taking a break from life as it has been, and just as she needs water and replenishment, so do we, and we get this time, and I'm really excited about that. So I know that I talk a lot about water. I hope you guys don't get tired of that, because this is the age of Aquarius that we're going into, and it's all about water. It's the water bearer age, so I do recommend that you drink a lot of water, just like Mother Nature needs water, and we need to be in tune with her, and drink water with her. That's really what this is all about. This is divine intervention that we're undergoing right now, and you guys should feel so blessed. And I know that that's really hard for a lot of people. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a drink. I know that that's really hard for a lot of people right now, because we have just been living in a state of, we're in a state of emergency right now. And we really called out to that. Our souls called out for help to get through this, because we have been suffering for so long. And a lot of it revolves around money. And with money comes materialism and ego and fear of not having it. And so, now's the time to replenish ourselves, and to come into ourselves. And we can start by doing that, or start doing that by drinking water and becoming one with nature, like I mentioned. And it's really important that we're careful what we put in our bodies. It's just like Mother Nature. Like, we've been polluting her, okay? We've been polluting her lungs by making paper products. I think that's interesting that everybody's running out and buying paper products because of respiratory disease. That's Mother Nature. She's whooping our ass. She's saying, no more. You're not going to poison me anymore. You're not going to poison my lungs anymore by making these paper products. And you're going to cry out for them right now because you're going through a respiratory illness. And that's just me calling out to you and saying, okay, it's time to change things. Also, again, Mother Nature drinks water. We pollute ourselves with crap, Coke, and energy drinks, and just Kool-Aid, and just garbage, man. Don't drink the Kool-Aid, okay? Drink water. Stop polluting yourselves. And when it comes to that, I kind of want to mention coffee here, and stimulant drinks. Now, coffee is natural, okay? I totally get that. And it's really yummy. I love coffee. But I'm trying to remember to get in my daily intake of greenery. That's in my cup right now. And the reason that is because when we drink or consume stimulants like sugar or like coffee, or energy drinks, which is totally not natural at all. It's man-made, much like this coronavirus. Yep, I said it. It's man-made. It's man-made. And that'll come out. You guys will find that out later. So we'll just skip that. Anyway, when we consume stimulants, they are, again, stimulants. They stimulate a state of being. So if you are feeling panicky, if you're feeling fearful, if you're thinking about money, if you're thinking about whatever you're thinking about, you could even be thinking about good thoughts. You could be thinking about happy thoughts. How this new way of life is so exciting, because that's where I'm at. I have been waiting for this all of my life. This is exactly where I want to be. This is exactly what I wanted. And again, our souls were so tired of suffering that we called out for this replenishment, just like Mother Nature calls out for this replenishment. So when we are consuming stimulants in whatever state of being that we choose to be in, we are stimulating that. So if we're in fear and we're drinking coffee or stimulants, dude, we are stimulating that feeling. And that is no way to be. And if you catch yourself doing that, you better go get yourself a glass of water. And I mean 2. For every cup of coffee that we have, we should be having that much water and an extra glass of water to replenish ourselves. If you're in a state of happiness and joy and you feel complete and you have a cup of coffee, that is going to stimulate that behavior. So if you are feeling a negative way and you're drinking coffee and you start to notice that you're feeling that way, maybe you should switch to decaf for a little bit, just until you raise your vibration to the level of love. And while we're talking about stimulants, I see a lot of people talking about the stimulus that's coming in the mail soon, or not mail, I guess, right into our bank accounts if we did our taxes. So I hope you did your taxes. Now that is its own stimulant. It is going to stimulate the economy because our economy is in the shitter right now. Just like Mother Nature has been in the shitter, and it's time to get out, you guys, because we have been in the shitter when it comes to our state of mind. And quickly moving on, I'm going to move into the story of Judas. Now, first of all, I don't know where these messages come from. They just come from my higher self, begging me to get them out to you guys. So I have tried to structure them. I've tried to let you guys know ahead of time, hey, I'm going to be talking about this today. And then something else comes in and it just totally switches gears, and then I have to talk about something else because that is what I'm guided to do. So here I am. I'll title this after I'm done with my message because it's just kind of coming out right now. And I'm learning to go with the flow of information that comes in. I think that's really what that means, going with the flow. Water flows. Water is information. Again, drink a lot of water. And also, while I'm sitting here and just kind of realizing, I'm sitting under my eaves outside on my deck, and I have, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. 5 is a big number. 5 archangels, main archangels, 5 senses. Yeah, anyway, five dimensions, and I have 5, I don't know if they're different species of birds, but there are 5 nests underneath my eaves right now. Mother Nature is seriously taking over, and these birds somehow are finding refuge underneath our eaves. So if you guys see insulation flying out while I'm talking, that's just them. They're coming in and out. They're feeding their babies or whatnot. So anyway, I'm going to go into the story of Judas. Now, a lot of people view Judas as a bad character in the story. He is an essential character in the story. And he was actually prompted to turn Jesus over, and he was prompted by Jesus. That is, again, Christ consciousness. If you can view Jesus as not a man, like we always view ourselves, and that's why the stories were written the way that they were, was because we are mortal men. We're actually more than that. We are actually more than that, and I will get to that. But as mortal men with two mortal eyes, we need to view things in that way in order for it to kind of sort of sink in. But Jesus, near the end of his ministry, talked a lot about how he mentioned that he wrote his stories in parables, and that there would be a day that would come where we would no longer view them as stories, but really as our own truth. So essentially, Judas was prompted by Jesus to turn him over. Now, think about it this way. We are in this state of emergency, this state of being. What comes to mind? Red. Run for the hills. Okay, so that's our root chakra. That is fear. It's money. It's materialism. It's ego. Okay, and Jesus prompted Judas to turn him over. And he did that. He said, well, John, who actually wrote the book of John, asked Jesus who it was that was going to turn him over, because Jesus knew who was going to betray him. Which of the 12 disciples was going to betray him? Now, 12 is a big number, okay? I talk mainly about the 7 main energy points in the body, but there are 12, and I'll talk about that another time. But just remember that. So there's 12 chakras, there are 12 constellations, and there are 12 apostles, okay? Jesus knew which one was going to turn him over, because Christ consciousness prompted him. Now that is really us. That's our consciousness ready to bloom. And we have gotten sick of this crap, this mundane BS of having to go to work every day and not being able to afford our rent, and having multiple families living under one roof, and not being able to afford food, and having to go on assistance and try to find other ways to make money, like that, what was that show about the guy who got cancer and had to start making meth? You guys know what show. And he had to start making meth in order to have cancer treatments or be able to take care of his family through it. It's really sad. Okay, come on. Anyway, so our consciousness, our Christ consciousness coming into us has prompted this whole thing. Okay. And Jesus looked at John, and he said that he would tell him who it was that was going to hand him over. And he said, when I dip my bread in the sauce, I'll give it to him. He is the man. There is so much here. There's so much in that statement. First of all, Jesus is talking about a part of himself, okay? And that is our root chakra. That's also significant of our system, the system that we live in, the rich, okay? And that's the part of ourselves, or the part of this world that we serve. And we have become servants of these rich and elite assholes. Sorry for the language. I hope your kids aren't around. But I'm really passionate about this. And these evil elites. Now, there are rich people that are good. But Jesus did say that it would be easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. And it is really hard. But there are rich people out there that are very giving and very generous. And those who have been really evil in this world, that have been governing this world for so long, They're going down. They're going down. And you're going to hear about that in the coming weeks. And you've already been hearing it. People are, rich elites are getting, busted, man. They're getting arrested. They're going to have to face indictments. That is Judgment Day. Okay? And they're going to get their comeuppance. Now, Judas turned Jesus over for 30 silver coins. I find that extremely interesting because, well, first of all, numbers govern the universe. And the number 30, it actually, it means to fulfill a purpose. It means to fulfill a calling, okay? Just as I am fulfilling my calling right now by sharing this message with you. Judas was called to fulfill a purpose, okay? And Jesus called him to that purpose. And he said, he handed him the bread that he had dipped in the sauce, and he gave it to him. Now, he was giving it to himself, okay? It's consumption. It's greediness, all right? And he said, do what you must. Basically told him, make haste. Make it happen, and make it happen fast, okay? Now, everything that we've been going through has been happening so fast. And our economic infrastructure is just crashed. And we are having to learn to live in a different way without the mundane, everyday, here comes Monday, can't wait for Friday because we have to go to work to do the 9 to 5 and make our moolah so that we can barely survive. That's just not a way to live anymore. And that's what the Christ consciousness does. It puts us into a quick state of fear, a state of emergency, and we have to kind of accept what's coming in, because that's really what healing is about. It's about a willingness to receive healing. Now, we've been calling out, our souls have been calling out for this relief. So don't worry about money. That's really what I'm trying to get at. Don't worry about money. Don't worry about all your crap. Don't worry about buying and spending and, paying your rent and blah, 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 blah. Don't worry. That'll come. Just as the Christ consciousness in you has prompted this time to come and this healing to come, you are going to be provided for because you have called out to that. So, I don't think Judas was such a bad character in the story. He was an essential character in the story. And there actually is a gospel out there called the Gospel of Judas. You guys can get your hands on it. I don't know how easy it is right now, but there's a reason. This is an agnostic gospel, by the way. And this was kind of hidden out of the Bible for a reason. And the reason is because we're to come into a time of learning why it's not there. And that is the reason why it's not there. We have been taught in this society, in this world, where we have been governed by these negative energies, literally controlling the system through stories that have been left out in the Bible, like that of Judas. So Judas was not a bad guy. He was just essential for the story. Now, people will argue and say, but if Judas wasn't bad, why did he kill himself? Judas is, again, that part of Christ. He's that part of us, that Christ consciousness that begs to sell himself out. And that's what we've done. We've sold ourselves out. We've sold our souls out. And so when Judas committed suicide, he was committing an egoic death. And that is all what we must go through right now, is to commit an egoic suicide. And that's not to say that there aren't people out there right now or have thus far committed suicide because of all this. And seriously, my condolences to the families of those who have lost loved ones because of this. My cousin, he died. He died about, oh my God, I think it was probably about a year ago. At least pretty close now. And I think he committed suicide. I think a lot of the family really believes that to a sense, to a degree. He suffered for a really long time, so I know what it is like to lose somebody to that. But I'm not telling you guys to go out and commit suicide. I'm telling you to kill your ego. Let it go. Let the money go. Let the materialism go, because we are going to learn how to live this life in a totally different way. And I'm sorry, I know you don't want to hear it, but toilet paper is going to be going the way of the dodo. Dodo, da-da, okay? So get yourself a Perry bottle. Use, cloth. Buy yourself a bidet. Water is going to be the answer. This is, again, the water bearer age. And so water is going to be a big thing. Any work that you can find having to do with water, that's going to be a big one. And Jesus prophesied about that. He prophesied about it when he sat down by the well with the Samaritan at the well. That was him prophesying about the age of Aquarius, because she actually looked at him and said, "I see you are a prophet, sir." Whoa! Game changer. Story changer. He went from being a teacher to a prophet right there. And so from that point on in the story, which was very, very early in the story in his ministry, he became a prophet. And so everything written after that is a prophecy about today. So drink lots of water. Put yourself in water. A salt bath is great every day. That'll recharge your energy. Buy yourself some crystals, because crystals have a way of absorbing negative energies. If you have them in your space, wear them, carry them in your pocket. Sometimes we call them a worry stone. And the reason that we have that is to let our worries be absorbed and to go away. So I highly recommend that. Eat living foods. We're gonna have to do that anyway, okay? Because this is gonna go on a while. You guys, if you're still stuck in the 3D, you're still thinking that we're going to go back to work and plug away. Who the hell wants to do that? I ain't got time for that. You guys got time for that? I want to live. It's done. It's over. And that's another thing. When Jesus said that death is life, it's the egoic death we go through. And then we can live. So start planting seeds. Like I'm trying to plant seeds in you right now, in your heart, in your soul. Planting seeds of hope. Go out and plant some seeds in your yard. Start growing foods. We're gonna have to rely on local. And if you guys haven't gotten there yet in your heads or in your willing to accept, it's about time you go there. So we're going to be buying a lot more local. We're going to be growing a lot more food. We're going to be eating healthier because of this, because we have to, because guess what, 5G is coming, and there's no way that anybody is going to survive 5G if they don't vibrate at a higher frequency. And eating animals, especially mass-produced animals, so that some asshole can make a bunch of money or some system can make a bunch of money, that's not going to work anymore. We're going to have to go with local meats, fish, and there's another story right there I'm going to touch on in the Bible. When Jesus went to the temple and he drove out all of the animals and overturned the tables of the money changers. I know this is a lot for you guys to take in because I'm just throwing so much at you right now, but man, I don't think I'm going to live long enough to be able to share all of this with you. And so I want to get in as much as I can. So if you have to go back and watch it over again, do it. But Jesus went into the temple, and he drove out the animals and overturned the tables of the money changers. What does that mean? We don't want our bodies are temples. And I know that Jesus was saying that because he said as a commandment, as like a he was insistent on this. It was like he was deliberately saying as a direct action, tear down this temple, and in 3 days I will build it again. He was talking about his body, and the Bible says that. He was talking about his body. So when he drove the animals out of the temple, he was talking about himself. Because if we're eating dead meat, if we have dead weight we're carrying around, we cannot raise our frequency. So we need to consume living things, like fruits and vegetables and nature. And I hear grass-fed beef is amazing. Well, I mean, it is. I know, because it is amazing. And the worst thing I get from grass-fed beef is like, I feel chill. I feel lazy. I feel calm. And I'm totally okay with that. But it's also in how you treat the animals. And we have been treating animals so terribly, so wrong. And that really was a passion of the Christ consciousness that it just couldn't be anymore. And the overturning of the money changers' tables, that's Jesus saying, get rid of this BS monetary system. Stop making my Father's house a marketplace. We have been making our bodies a marketplace. And I really hope that the water that just, okay, good, it's water. Water just poured down on my head. Aw, that's like, I feel like that's just a sign that I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm so glad it's not bird poop, although I hear that is, it's a good sign. I really hope that's not bird poop, but I hear that that's actually a good sign. So it's an Italian thing, I guess. Anyway, yeah, so let go of money, eat better, carry some crystals, get yourself in a salt bath daily, drink lots of water, love yourself, love your neighbor, and we're all going to get through this. And I know that I went really fast on this, but there's just so much to learn. Again, this is the water bearer age. It's the information age, and that's where we're at. And I wish you guys all the love and peace and wellness. And again, my condolences to everyone who's being affected by this great panic. Okay, this pandemic. I will talk to you soon. And as always, I love you guys, and namaste.